Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Speaking of Zane from the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. It has been another busy week here. And what are we at? Speaking of weeks, we are at, goodness gracious, the 298th week that we have done Speaking of Zane. And couldn't be more pleased to have this group come together every Sunday night. Thank you so much for that. Let me see who we've got here tonight. Ken's in there. Carl and Peggy are in there. How you doing? Daryl's in there. Hey, Daryl. My cousin Toby is in there. My dad's in there. More about him in a minute. Jimbo Miller's in there. Hey, Doc Collier's in there. Wishing you the best too, Doc. You and I need to catch up for sure. Praying for you and your family. And let's see what the heck is going on here this week. Lori is still regaining her strength after an incredible few weeks post-surgery, but I think she is on the mend and doing much better. I think the doc got that situation squared away, I'm hoping anyway, and she is on the road to recovery. It's a good thing because she's got a interesting week ahead of her. She is going to be helping out. Let's see, Hannah just moved to a new place over in Duluth, Georgia. In fact, I spent most of my Saturday helping her move, and but I was happy to do it. Every time one of the kids asked me to help them move, I always think of my dad, because my dad never hesitated to help his kids move. In fact, he helped me and my family move all the way from Nebraska. When was that, Dad? 1999, I think. Dad drove up there. We got a big old Penske 27-footer, and my dad had a trailer behind his pickup, and he had Zane in the cab of the truck with him the whole way. And anyway, so anytime one of my kids asked, I think of my dad helping me. And I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I tell you what, me and Hannah's husband, Colleen, got her done. We moved all the way from Cartersville to Duluth, hour drive, but a couple hours to load, hour drive, couple hours to unload. It was a busy day yesterday, but Lori is going to be going to their new place this week because Hannah's starting a new job, still in the, what is the field? She's in the, oh gosh, it escapes me now, but she is a social worker. So she's moving from one county to another, from Paulding County to, I think it's Gwinnett County. And she got a promotion and a raise and all that stuff. And she's going to be working in a different county, leveraging her expertise there. But she's got a very busy week of onboarding with her new job. By the way, did I mention that Hannah is an Army veteran? I tell you what, I'm so proud of my kids. We were helping Hannah move Saturday morning, and there was, in her apartment complex, there was another crew loading up someone, loading their apartment up to move them. And a kind young man came over and said, hey, wondering if I could borrow your dolly. We're helping this young lady move. We're from a church in Cartersville, and we need to move the washer and dryer. We don't have a dolly. Can we borrow yours? I said, absolutely. And he said, well, we can't get the water connections off. Do you happen to have a channel lock or something? I said, absolutely. So I dug around in my toolbox and let them borrow the dolly and channel locks, and they got all that moved, and they were very appreciative of that. Happy to do that. But anyway, so we were helping Hannah get all of her stuff loaded up. out of the apartment in Cartersville, and we got all that done and drove it all the way over to, they elected me to drive the U-Haul. I don't know why. Hannah's perfectly capable. She drove Humvees and all this stuff in the Army. Anyway, the guys, I had a veteran shirt or a hat on or something. Hey, I just want to say thank you for your service. I said, hey, don't thank me, thank my daughter. And had 3 of my kids serve. I said, I'm more proud of them than I am of my service. But it was an interesting interaction, and I appreciate that. Anytime anybody recognizes that, I certainly appreciate it. Looks like Doc Collier spent some time there at the Cartersville Medical Center. Okay, how about that? Yeah, Cartersville is where we do most of our commerce, Doc. We're about equidistant between Kennesaw and Cartersville here in the little town of Ackworth. But it seems much easier and quicker for us to do most of our commerce in Cartersville. So we do. We'll go to Kennesaw if we have to, but Cartersville, less traffic, less people than Kennesaw. But anyway, so Hannah moved from Kennesaw or Cartersville to Duluth, and that's an hour away. Now I know we're gonna miss our little grandson Everett. He spent a couple nights with us this week. Just an awesome little guy. He had his last day at his school. His teacher's Miss Butterworth. Now he's going to a new school. And I don't know what the name of it is. But anyway, Lori's going to be over there to help get him back and forth on the bus, get him to school, all that stuff for that first week. While Lori is, or while Hannah's getting her onboarding and everything at the new job, Lori will stay with them at their new place and get Everett off and back and forth and all that stuff. So, and I know she loves to do that for sure. Well, Friday, I was able to take the day off on Friday and drive down to Fitzgerald, Georgia, which is about 220 miles from us, and surprised my dad on his 80th birthday. He looks in better health than me, and he's 18 years older than me, but he's just in fantastic shape. He has great genes. He's got, it's amazing. You would never look at him. He tells me his doctors tell him there's no way you're 80. But he is 80. He turned 80. He was born on October the 11th of 1944 and is just in excellent shape. Of course, we never know what tomorrow brings for any of us. But I'm fortunate that he's still around, and I surprised him. I walked in the door. He was sitting in the living room, just in the solitude. And he was like, "What are you doing here?" And my sister knew I was coming. My sister had to work, but she was able to come home for lunch, and we had some taco soup, and it was great. And it was good to be able to surprise him. My sister had some really nice, let me show you. My sister had some banners and balloons and different things. Let me see if I can find a picture here to share. But my sister did a great job, of course, as she always does, of recognizing things. Her and my wife Lori are the best at those kind of things. But let me share. Let's see if I can. There we go. Share this screen here. Let you guys know. I know some of you probably saw it already on Facebook. Maybe. Looks like I'm frozen. Somebody can tell me in the chat there. I'll try to unfreeze it. Yeah, this has happened to me before. If you guys remember, when I tried to share the other screen, it got stuck. But We'll see what happens here. Somebody let me in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you can still hear me anyway, and I'll try to proceed. I hate when that happens because I had a couple of things I wanted to share on the screen, but might not be able to after all. Okay, maybe you can see me now. Jim says, Daryl says, all good. Yeah, videos. Let's see what I can pull off here. I might not be able to share that picture, but we'll see. You can see me picking my nose there. Okay. Let's see. Oh goodness gracious! Isn't it crazy when things go all the tech doesn't quite work? Let me see. I'm going to try. Maybe I won't. Let me try to close a couple of windows here and see what happens. I'm moving again, Jimbo says. Okay, good. Good. Let me try something else here. Close that. I'm just closing a couple windows here in case my I am overdue for a refresh on my laptop. I use my work laptop for this because of the way I've got things configured. I do have a totally separate personal computer I could use, but just this is easier. But let me see if I can share again. If I'm not able to, I'll come back again. Let's see if it'll let me share this screen here. What screen do you want to share? I want to share this one. There we go. We'll see. There we go. How about that? Okay, you guys can see that now. Yeah, so that's my sister had a banner put out there, and she got a little helium bottle and put some balloons out there. But let's see if the other. There we are, standing in the front yard. But anyway, I think he was surprised, but it was good. It was a good visit. I enjoyed it. After we had some lunch, my dad drove me around town and showed me some of the hurricane damage, and my sister and my dad, and my dad's 80, my sister's 60, and they were out helping people cut down trees and saw limbs and everything at my nephew's place. My nephew Cody, who's a captain in the Tennessee National Guard. He's actually going to be a company commander here, I'm told, pretty soon there. But he's my brother Terry's son. But my dad drove me around and showed me a lot of the damage, a lot of trees down in their little town. And then we stopped by one of the ball fields and said hello to my cousin Robert. My cousin's a couple years older than me, but he works for the city there and keeps all the public parks and ballparks and all that stuff maintained. And we stopped by and said hi to him. And then we went to the cemetery and visited my mom. And my dad and my sister do a great job of keeping her resting place, just spectacular. And the live plant that I took down there for Mom, I don't know, Dad, how long has it been? Geez, at least a couple of months. It's still alive. It gets enough rain and sun, and my sister looks after it. And I was surprised to see it alive there. But anyway, had a really good visit there, and then went back to the house and got things packed up and drove back to Atlanta. About a 4-hour drive down. I spent maybe 3 hours there, and then 4-hour drive back. It was a long day. I left at 8 in the morning, got home at 8 p.m., but it was well worth it. Enjoyed every minute of it. Got to stop by Buc-ee's on the way there and on the way back. My sister's got this, what do you call it, Dad? It's a black bean and corn, it's like a dip, black bean and corn. She's got this black bean and corn dip that she likes from Buc-ee's, so I picked her up a jar of that. And then I stopped on the way back for gas. So that was good. That was good. It was a good trip, and glad I got to make it down there. And it was a long day. And then I got up on Saturday, like I mentioned, and helped Hannah move. But all right, well, that's enough about me. Well, let's see what else. Salsa, yeah, it's salsa. My dad chimes in. It's a salsa. I don't know what the heck it's called, but it's the black bean and corn salsa that she likes. But I brought her a jar of that from Buc-ee's. But there was a lot of, as you might imagine, going south on I-75, one of the major arteries down in Florida, were a lot of power companies and relief crews and stuff on the road as well, from all over the country, driving down to Florida to help with the Hurricane Milton recovery. Now, Florida got hit by Helene and then Milton all within a 2-week period. But I have some team members, some of my team members that live in Florida, a couple in Miami, a couple in 3 in Tampa, I guess, and over in Jacksonville, and they were all able to evacuate to safe places, and now they're all back in place. Everybody's okay. I did talk to Kelly at my Warriors place a couple of times this week, make sure she was okay. Talked to her while they were prepping for the storm, and then talked to her after the storm, and then I talked to her this afternoon, and they finally got power back at my Warriors place yesterday, she said. And the staff is working in the Pineapple building. If you've been to my Warrior place, the Pineapple building is a brand new facility that's on stilts. So it's elevated and everything's okay there. And that's sort of the hub of activities. There's 4 bedrooms in there, a kitchen, a living room. It's a really nice place. But down closer to the waterfront is the office complex, which was recently redone to become the office. It's not habitable at the moment. And then the blue cottage next to it, which is Lori's favorite, unfortunately, Kelly told me this afternoon, is going to have to be torn down. It was flooded for Helene and then been damaged for Milton, and it's just suffered too much. And she said that the blue cottage is going to have to be torn down. But Kelly's, as you might imagine, she's been through a lot with the loss of her son, and then all kind of turmoil over the years at my Warriors place. And her spirits were high, I could tell. And she says, I'll quote, she says, "We will overcome this and survive." Now, how's that for a survivor? And Kelly absolutely is. And once things settle down, I've got members of my team at work standing by. We're going to certainly go out there and at least spend a day to help however we can, probably in the early November timeframe, once Kelly's had time to really assess the needs there. Well, David, hey, how you doing, buddy? I know you're down there and that you've been out of town for some time, but you got back just in time for the shenanigans there. Um, and I'm glad you're okay. And be thinking about you. I'd like to, once I get back down to Tampa and take my team out to my Warriors place, I'd love to invite you over and meet some of the crew, meet Kelly at my Warriors place, and catch up with you. So stay tuned for that. Glad you're okay, buddy. Okay, well, let's see. What else is good? Sports. We always talk about sports. I love Saturdays. I was able to finish moving my daughter in time to get back to the house. Oh, I had to stop by and turn in a battery. I drive an 18-year-old Toyota Tundra that's got 250,000 miles on that V8. That truck will outlast me. I'm confident of it. I bought that truck new in Savannah in 2006. And my kids always ask me, Dad, you could buy anything you wanted. I'm like, yeah, but why would I? But this truck is great. I just put some new headlights in. I've talked to you guys about. I put some new tires on it recently. I keep it maintained very well. But I went out there, what was it, Lori, on Thursday to go to the Kroger and click, click, click. And I'm like, well, I need a new battery, doggone it. And it had a Bosch battery, really nice battery, but it's probably 3, 4, 5 years old. So they don't last much longer than that. But anyway, well, I didn't have another vehicle to go get a battery. So I had to find an auto parts store that would deliver. And I'm thinking, well, do any of them deliver? Well, it turns out AutoZone does. And you know what they do? They deliver with DoorDash. So I ordered a new battery, got a brand new battery delivered by DoorDash, and got it put in and everything, which was good because I had to take Everett to school Friday morning and then drive down to see my dad. And anyway, I don't know what got me off on that, but I drove down, I got the battery done to live up to all my commitments there. So anyway, I was saying I got home in time to watch some college football. After I stopped and turned in the old battery core charge, got my $22 back for that. But A&M had a bye week. They are still in first place in the SEC. How about that? We'll see how long that lasts. Texas beat Oklahoma. I believe Texas is going to pass A&M, but that's A&M's first in the SEC. They're undefeated in the SEC. So is Texas. But anyway, Georgia Southern beat Marshall. Georgia Southern's on top in the SBC East. We'll see how long that lasts. Georgia beat Mississippi State. Now, that was a tough game. And Mississippi State is playing Texas A&M next week. So Texas A&M, I hope, in the off week was watching closely. Mississippi State gave Georgia a run for their money. Nebraska had a bye week. Bama barely beat South Carolina. I didn't watch any of that game. I just caught the highlights. And then I did watch every single minute of the Florida-Tennessee game. Wow, that was a good game. That was a real good game. Tennessee came out on top, but could have gone either way. But I love college football. Love it. Navy's still 5-0. Army is 6-0. So good stuff. Got to watch a good bit of football last night. Now, I love this time of year because you can watch football on Saturdays, but you still got baseball going. And even though the Braves are out, we've got a good National League Division Series going. That's on right now. I need to turn the ball game back on. The Dodgers are playing the Mets. Hence, the hat of the week. The hat of the week is the Dodger hat. Now, I'm undecided whether I'm pulling for the Dodgers or the Mets. The Mets are our National League East rivals. I'm talking about the Braves. But Lori's a Dodger fan. I like what Ohtani brings to the game. Maybe I'll just admire the game and won't root for anybody, but we'll see how things go. So that is the hat of the week. Who are you pulling for? Anybody? All right, this week in military history. How about it? This week in military history, we had a couple of items here. On October the 13th, today, 249 years ago, the United States Navy was born. How about that? 1775. The Navy. They're not as old as our Army, but they are old. They're a year older than the country. Happy birthday to the Navy. And then on October the 11th, 1944, I've already mentioned this, a hero was born. My dad, Mac Marine, Gunny Sergeant, Guy T. McDonnell, United States Marine Corps, retired, Silver Star, Purple Heart, Vietnam veteran. So in my book, that is worthy of noting. And Dad, thank you for everything you've done for the country, for your family. And then on October the 12th, this would have been yesterday, October 12th, 2000. In 2000, the USS Cole was attacked. If you remember, a terrorist bombing, USS Cole. 17 sailors were lost in that, 30 some odd injuries, I think. But yeah, that was sort of the first, a little bit of escalation toward what would come with 9/11, and then, you know, the rest of the story. But a lot of people forget about the Cole, the USS Cole, 17 sailors killed. Okay, well, let's see. What do we got here? Veteran Cemetery Challenge. Well, Daryl, I think it is true that you did not get a chance to visit Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery today. Now, Daryl was one of my early military mentors. I was an 18-year-old airman arriving at Offutt Air Force Base. Daryl was the swing shift supervisor. And Daryl had been around, you know, served through Vietnam and had flown on the command post plane. And we all looked up to him as a seasoned, salty veteran. And all these years later, Daryl and I are in touch again over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And but Daryl generally will visit his wife, Wanda, who passed a few years ago, and she's buried at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery near St. Louis. But Daryl has been busy this week trying to get his act together for an upcoming surgery. I think Daryl is on Tuesday or Wednesday. Daryl's having, I think, his second knee replacement. Daryl, help me out here. But and it turns out Daryl's going to have a little bit of help, because I think his daughter or his granddaughter from Tennessee is coming up to look after him. Now, Daryl is his doctor tried to say, now listen, when you get home from this surgery, you're going to have some help, right? And Daryl said, well, yeah. He told a little white lie. And his turns out, I think his daughter found that out, and I think his daughter's coming up to look after him. But Daryl's a strong cat and a believer, and I know he'll do fine with that knee replacement. He's been through it before, and if he's got his daughter there, I know he's going to be in good shape. So Daryl, I'll be in St. Louis this week, Daryl. So if anything happens and you need help, I'll break away from work and I'll come help you. I'll be there all week till Friday afternoon. But wishing you the best, praying for you, praying for the surgeons, and make sure everything goes okay. They got this surgery down pretty good nowadays. They do these things like clockwork. So hopefully everything will go well there, Daryl, for you. But anyway, we had my dad visits Evergreen Cemetery regularly, as does my sister. And I was able to make a visit there this week while I was in town. So if I add up our visits, I think we were at 9 total visits for the week. So we currently sit at 1,298 visits that somebody from this relatively small group of patriots has made to a national cemetery or a cemetery where there is a veteran resting. So thank you guys for doing that with us. And David Surface, I don't know exactly where you're at in that area there, but you've got a number of different veteran cemeteries in that area down there. I've visited most of them. But I don't know if you have had a chance to range around and visit, but let me know and I can help you. All right, let's see. Moving on to the Thank a Vet Challenge. Carl's coming in with some late-breaking thank yous. He had 4 Air Force crew members. Okay. From the Hurricane Hunter. Okay. Well, they still fly C-130, but I think they fly the new H model, right? Or the C-130Js, the J, same platform that my son Jackson flew on the AC-130J. I know the Hurricane Hunters are flying the newer variant there. But good on you there, Carl. So I'll add 4 to our list here. So 4 will take us up to, let me tell you who else I've had this week. Carl with 4. And I had a thank you at the Lowe's, and then I had a thank you somewhere else in around today, and then I got the thank you I mentioned yesterday morning. But anyway, we're sitting at 3,012 thank yous since we started. No, 12. Now I got to add Carl's 4. 3,016 thank yous that this relatively small group of patriots have done in a relatively short period of time. So thank you all for doing that alongside us. Did I get yours, Dad? Let's see. I didn't have yours documented. Let's see. Dad had 3. Oh, was that at the commissary today? Dad, my dad goes to the commissary down at Moody Air Force Base, and my sis usually goes along with him. But I'll add those, Dad. That takes us up to 3,019 thank yous. We have zoomed past the 3,000 mark. So thank you guys for doing that with us. It's kind of fun to track. Well, let's see. Moving on to the organizations, the only updates I have, I just gave you my Warriors Place. Of course, staying in touch with Kelly. They do have power there right now. I watched the wireless network there. I'm able to do that remotely, and I could tell that the access points are active, and there's about 10 or 11 devices connected at the moment. Kelly told me that the other buildings, they've got them turned off. And then for Ken and David and others down there, once I know what we're going to do to help, she's got lots of organizations and stuff that'll be helping her along the way. But I want to get my crew together. We usually get between a dozen and 20. And whenever we do that, I'll certainly let any of you local folks know. I would love to see you over there. And Ken has been over there before. And Ken, we're still praying for your mother-in-law. I know your mother-in-law is ill at the moment, so pass on our regards to Janet and your mother-in-law there. I know it's it's a terrible time there when you find yourself at the end of someone's time on this earth. So our thoughts and prayers are with you there. I'm sure I'm missing something this week, folks, but I can't think of it at the moment. But I just am overwhelmed with appreciation that you guys will show up and listen to me ramble the way I do for the last 37 minutes or so. But I certainly appreciate you guys, your support and prayers and thoughts and all of that. I do see my Aunt Mary was in there. Hey, Aunt Mary, I didn't mean to leave you out there. But good to have you all checked in tonight. And now next Sunday, so I'm going to St. Louis tomorrow, coming home Friday, going up to Pennsylvania Saturday for a wedding of one of my students, home on Sunday, and then back to St. Louis on Monday. Did you get that? St. Louis tomorrow, home Friday, Pennsylvania Saturday, Sunday, home Sunday, back to St. Louis Monday, the 21st. And then I'll be there until November 2nd. I got a lot of things going on with the academy that I lead over the next few weeks. So I'm a little uncertain on the Sunday evening. I think I'll be back here Sunday late afternoon. So we should be able to have Speaking to Zane regular next Sunday. And then we might miss the following, but I'll let you guys know ahead of time with plenty of time. But appreciate you all. I guess I'm going to say go Dodgers. We'll see. I'm just looking for some good baseball, and hopefully you are too. And we'll look forward to seeing you all again next Sunday night for what will be then the 299th edition of Speaking of Zane, coming up on 300 episodes of Speaking of Zane. But good to have you all in here tonight. We'll see you again next Sunday night. God bless.